These deputies should be put in prison for murdering a person. They bust into the wrong apartment and shoot a U.S. airman who was legally armed. Uh, there is no excuse for what they did. Uh, these people should also be investigated by the military for their actions, in my opinion. Probably given, life in prison for killing somebody. This happens way too often where cops will bust into the wrong apartment and kill people, either armed or unarmed.
Airman will publicly call for answers about the police shooting that took his life.
Allison is here now with the details on what we know about this so far.
23-year-old Roger Fortson was killed last weekend. We know that. The Air Force says he was a senior airman deployed with the Special Operations Wing at Hurlburt Field in Florida, and he died at his off-base apartment. A local sheriff's department says a deputy was responding to a disturbance call when he encountered an armed man and shot him. Civil rights attorney Ben Crump says that Fortson was on a FaceTime call with a woman. According to Crump, she says that Fortson was alone when someone knocked on the door, but when he asked who was there was no response. After a much more aggressive knock a few minutes later, Fortson checked the peephole but didn't see anyone. And that's when the woman says that he became concerned. He got his gun, which he owned legally. Then deputy.
So they didn't announce themselves whatsoever, and they hid themselves when somebody was trying to see who was outside. It's pretty illegal. Cops are required to announce themselves.
Deputies burst through that door, saw him with a gun, and fired. According to Crump, the woman said there was no disturbance during her call with Fortson, and she believes deputies went to the wrong apartment. The lawyer.
This also shows how incompetent cops are when they continually uh, enter into the wrong houses or apartments and kill people for no reason.
Ben Crump issued a statement. In part, it says, quote, "We are calling for transparency in the investigation into Roger's death and the immediate release of body cam video to the family. His family and the public deserve to know what occurred," end quote. Now, the deputy who shot Airman Fortson has been placed on administrative leave. The Florida Department of Law Enforcement and the local state.
Man, how lucky is it for cops? They can murder people and then just get put on paid administrative leave instead of being fired or sent to jail like anybody else would if they were to murder somebody on their job.
Attorney's office